Donald Trump said that he would be a dictator on day one, and now more than ever, he is living up to that promise because as tanks roll into D.C. for Donald Trump's birthday military parade, he is also sicking his jackbooted thugs, his masked military agents on peaceful protesters in Los Angeles who are pushing back against his disgusting, immoral, and illegal mass deportation plan. Donald Trump is attacking American citizens and does not care what happens to them. But he does care how it looks, and how it looks is bad, which is why he just made an insane post on Truth Social about these protests. We're going to cover this all. We are going to get updates on the ground, and if you want to support that work, as always, you can hit that subscribe button. But let's get into this with an update from Aaron Parnas, who just gave us the latest on what's happening in Los Angeles.
We have major breaking news right now. Tom Homan, Donald Trump's border czar, has confirmed that they may be mobilizing the National Guard to come into Los Angeles as soon as tonight, folks. If you are in Los Angeles protesting, be aware that they may try to entice a riot at this point. The protests that we are seeing right now on the streets are because of the massive ICE raids that are happening across LA County. And these ICE raids, it looks like a war zone on the ground. Federal authorities are on the ground spraying essentially pellet bullets at protesters. And Tom Homan has now confirmed the National Guard is getting ready to come in. He just said on Fox News, "We are making Los Angeles safer. Mayor Bash should be thanking us." She says they are going to mobilize. Guess what? We are already mobilizing. We are going to bring National Guard in tonight. This means that it's only going to get worse before it gets better.
Donald Trump is now calling in the National Guard to go after peaceful protesters in Los Angeles. These are people who are out on the street exercising their First Amendment right, something MAGA told me that they claim to care so much about. They care about free speech, except when the speech is critical of Donald Trump breaking the law. And part of that breaking the law, part of that criminality is trying to suppress our ability to protest. Donald Trump is shooting rubber bullets. His masked thugs, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, are attacking people. Why? Because they are demonstrating how much they care about their community in Los Angeles. And it's not just they're going after protesters, they're going after children at graduations. And we saw that in an on-the-ground update right here. We have to take a look at this before we see what is happening in a posting freak out from the White House.
I can't handle this, y'all. This is crazy, yo. I didn't think this was about to affect me like this. But our neighbor's school, y'all know I work at a school. Our neighboring school, I think it's Gratas, I don't know how to say it. It's Gratas or something like that. They were having their graduation. And there's helicopters in the sky. Most of these schools are... Fuck, yo. Most of these schools are predominantly Hispanic. Most of these schools are predominantly Hispanic. Gratas, I believe elementary, was having their graduation. And all of a sudden, a bunch of parents have to run out because ISIS is there. This is the story that I'm hearing. And, you know, our school goes on lockdown. Our principal, you know, tells us it's a drill, but we know it's not a drill. And, you know, I had to come outside. It's my break. We kind of got out. We got like off of a soft lockdown. And, you know, parents had to run out because they don't have papers. And they had to leave their kids because the kids do. What type of shit is this, yo? And then kids are freaking grabbing teachers and crying on their leg because they don't know if they're about to see their parents when they get home. What the fuck is this? And we voted for this shit?
I am disturbed by what I have seen over the past couple of hours as this story develops. Also, where is Gavin Newsom? Why hasn't he spoken out? I haven't seen a single post of him responding to Donald Trump. He's threatening to take away federal funding from California. Now he's sicking the National Guard. He's sending his thugs to Los Angeles, and Newsom hasn't said anything. We need Democrats stepping up right now. This is insanity, especially as we see MAGA push their disgusting narrative. And it's not just Trump. It's Stephen Miller, Carolyn Levitt, and of course Trump as well, who all made these gross posts in response to what's happening in Los Angeles. Carolyn Levitt wrote, left-wing radicals are waving foreign flags and viciously attacking ICE and Border Patrol agents and obstructing official law enforcement activities in Los Angeles. Democrats refuse to condemn this despicable behavior, but this will not be tolerated by the Trump administration. Stephen Miller wrote, deport the invaders or surrender to insurrectionists. You're an insurrectionist. These are the choices. And of course, Donald Trump took to Truth Social in a meltdown, just now writing, if Governor Gavin Newsom of California and Mayor Karen Bass of Los Angeles can't do their job, which everyone knows they can't, then the federal government will step in and solve the problem. Riots and looters, the way it should be solved. I have seen so many posts, disgusting online posts from Donald Trump's propagandists and his thugs saying, the left is going after our cops. Oh, we have to back the blue. First of all, if you're so proud to back the blue, if you're so proud to be an ICE agent, beating up peaceful protesters, going after kids at their graduations, maybe take your mask off and show your face, you embarrassment. This is sick. It's a joke. This is Donald Trump's administration. They are a bunch of disgusting fascists, and they know it. That's why they hide themselves. But at the same time, claiming that people out in the streets in their communities peacefully protesting against this invasion from Donald Trump's ICE agents, calling them the insurrectionists. When you started your administration, the basis of Trump's presidency is on the back of pardoning 1,500 plus people who beat up cops on January 6th. You have no leg to stand on. This is disgusting. It is gross. And this is Donald Trump's America. Once again, where is Gavin Newsom speaking out? Where? We need you now more than ever. This is what you got in this job to do. There are too many Democrats who are afraid to stand up to Donald Trump's disgusting immigration plan, his disgusting illegal deportation plan, because they think, oh, I don't know if it's good for us politically. Politically, it's morally wrong. Start there. They're attacking American citizens. And also, do you think people like this? Do you think they like mass thugs busting up graduations, ripping families apart? A sheriff was detained today by Donald Trump's ICE agents. So if you back the blue, you don't back what's happening right now, obviously. It's gross. And it just adds insult to injury that they're wearing their masks. Blech. And Hakeem Jeffries is even calling that out now. Thank God. Take a look at what he had to say.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that. This is America. This is not the Soviet Union. We're not behind the Iron Curtain. This is not the 1930s. And every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified. That in fact is the law. And we're going to make sure that the American people have the transparency necessary to hold people accountable when they're folks who cross the line here in America. That's what's going to happen. And as I mentioned earlier, and I spoke to Congressman Nadler about this, our first priorities are always going to be making sure the person who was on the front line is in the best possible place to move forward. That's the case with LaMonica MacGyver, and it is also the case with Congressman Nadler's brave, young, patriotic staffer. And we've got to address those issues first. That's the human thing to do, while simultaneously, of course, preparing to deal with the broader policy implications, which, as I mentioned, are underway. Thanks. Go back to this side.
Under no circumstance should these people be allowed to wear masks and to hide their identity, to refuse to disclose who they are as they break the law on behalf of their fascist dictator and Donald Trump, while he parades around with his little military event claiming that he cares about the troops when he just wants to care about himself. It's gross. It is sick. We need Democrats speaking out about what's happening right now. People's lives are on the line. Donald Trump's going after protesters next. He's going after protesters right now. You think that's it? No, next he's going after you. It's how this always goes. That's why I'm glad Robert Garcia, thankfully, a Democrat from California, he's speaking up and calling out what Donald Trump is doing, of course, to kill Abrego Garcia. But what's next is all of us. Take a listen.
Be really clear about what this is actually about. This is about enforcing a 9-0 Supreme Court order. The Supreme Court, a conservative court, 9-0 said that Mr. Abrego Garcia should return to the United States. That's what this is about. It's about due process that every single in this country should have. This is not about what Mr. Abrego Garcia may or may not have done. Whatever he may have done,
that.
Right, we're not defending that. Because at the end of the day, he's got to defend himself in a court of law and in front of a judge. And so that is up to him and his legal team. What we're saying is the Constitution in this country actually means something. The right of due process for all persons actually means something. And the President of the United States cannot defy a Supreme Court order. And so why this matters is Donald Trump finally agreed to do what the Supreme Court said. As far as what Mr. Abrego Garcia may or may not have done, that's going to be between him, his attorneys, and a judge. And that's exactly what should happen to if any of us or any of our families, something happened and we were accused of a crime, someone in your family was accused of a crime, you better hope that you have the ability to stand in front of a judge and be able to defend yourself.
Congressman, you are also throwing your hat into the ring for ranking member of the House Oversight Committee. What made you run? There are other, Jasmine Crockett, your Congresswoman friend, has also done the same thing. Why do you think you'd be better than her or any of the others that are running?
Well, first, there's 4 people, obviously, that are looking at it, and all 4 are great. Obviously, I love Jasmine, and I think the other 2 leaders are actually fantastic. I think at the end of the day, oversight is at the heart of what Congress does to keep the administration accountable, but also to do government reform. We're going to have to hold Donald Trump and the administration accountable for all the horrific things that have been happening through DOJ, attacking the federal workforce, and quite frankly, the corruption. I mean, a $400 million plane, a fund where foreign agents can dump money to enrich his family. And at the same time, I think Democrats need to be the party of government reform and innovation. It's not about DOJ. It's not about that type of efficiency. It's about how do we make government work for the American public. And I think we've got great candidates to do that.
Congressman, thank you for coming on, and happy Pride.
Happy Pride.
I think you can all tell. I'm fired up and angry. I'm going to rip my stitches after my wisdom tooth surgery. It hurts, but I'm angry. This is just upsetting me. We need people speaking out. I promise you, we are going to be on this show every single day. And if you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video, and if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And until next time, I'll see you soon.